20 years. That's how long it had been since I last set foot in my village. The same village that I lost my dad to. He died. So as a young child, I dreaded it because I felt like it swallowed the most cherished person I knew. Picture this. You are caught up in the storms of life and they're pushing you around. Everything seems to be chaotic and you're drowning in all these challenges that you have no map, some sort of a guide to put you out of them. Your relationships are shaky. You probably lost someone just like I did. Your mental health is like a battlefield. You're not alone. Millions of people are searching there to find their path, just like me. And I'm sure someone out there could relate to this podcast. The Unfiltered Truths is about life and it exists for you. So, in all its unfiltered glory, we are here to give it to you raw, real, and unapologetically. Welcome back to the Unfiltered Truths. It's been almost 3 months since we last connected. I'm your host, Okone Lydia Sandra, a medical scientist. Today, I want to take you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, and reconnection. I don't even know where to start. It's a bit emotional and personal. What would it look like for you if you had to return or confront your past after 2 decades? You share your story in the comment section, but for me, it meant packing my bags and going back to the village. I had spent 20 years without setting foot in my village because, I don't know, I had a mixture of emotions. I was sad, I was angry, I just hated everyone. Like, I hated the people, the village, the people in it, because it all tied into the place that just snatched someone I loved so dearly from me. So I battled those emotions for a very long time. But 6 months prior to my trip to the village, of course, I knew one day I had to make this trip. So I remember 6 months prior to that trip, I started buying like stuff, sugar, tea leaves. For some weird reason, I would sometimes use them, then refill them. So one day I was on leave and I was watching Netflix. And I just packed my bag. I didn't know exactly to go. And I didn't want to tell anyone where I was going. So I went to the bus terminal. The wrong one initially. Then I changed course to the actual bus terminal. While at the bus station, I decided to inform one person because, in all honesty, I knew the name of the village, but I didn't know where exactly I was headed to. So I phoned my uncle, let's call him Uncle J, and told him I was onboarding and headed his way. So I sat for about 5 hours, and later on, when we eventually set off, there came a lady. who sat next to me, and she asked me where I was headed. I told her I don't know, because that was the truth. So for some reason we chatted, and she knew my village. At the back of my mind, I always thought I would actually travel with someone, but I think God had other plans. The person I was supposed to travel with was meant to find me on the bus, not the other way around of me living with them from the word go. So I got lost in the conversation. Initially it was intense, shed a few tears, but I finally found my group. Enjoyed the scenery because I love traveling, and it was such a beautiful journey. Really, it was such a beautiful journey. The journey was such a long one. I spent 10 hours on it. Very tiring, but I guess worth the time. I did get to my hometown actually the following day. Not funny. So when I reached my town, I called Uncle J again, and he called his cousin who picked me up. But because I had a long journey, I spent that night in that town. Because from the town to my actual village is about 3 hours drive. I can't approximate distance in kilometers. I did love the town because I had learned of grass thatched houses, and I don't know when I had last seen one, if I ever saw one, but I was amazed by those structures, and it got me thinking, wow, what a beautiful change in scenery. So I stayed the night with that family, and I remember sharing with them why I had traveled and my fears. I got cold feet while I was there. Imagine I had traveled 10 hours earlier, but then here I was in a town. I had navigated the biggest percentage of the journey, and I was left with the smallest, but I was so scared. I remember crying profoundly, like I had just learned of his loss. So they comforted me. We talked through it the entire night almost. I could not sleep. And then we were supposed to set off for the actual village in the morning. Unfortunately, I was not in a good mental state. So we left at about 3 for the village, 3 hours down the road, and we got there at about 6 o'clock. My plan was to get there, visit the dead, met my dad, have a 30 minutes conversation with whoever would have come, and then leave. But then I didn't know what to expect from them, my expectation of them. I worried what they would think. The questions kept on running through my mind, and I couldn't just be at ease. So as soon as I got there, I was amazed. I felt bad because these guys, I didn't even tell them I was coming, but when Uncle J phoned them and told them, oh, finally the granddaughter is here, they mobilized themselves. I was overwhelmed by love. I didn't held such negative emotions towards them. All they ever showed me was love. They told me all these beautiful things they wished they would tell me all these years. I felt loved. I belonged. I think as a little girl, I yearned to really belong somewhere. The lengths they went to show me love, the animals they killed. Imagine in a village, if someone slaughtered a goat, a cow, for just me. I was honestly overwhelmed. I began to feel guilty because I had held so much anger and bitterness, resentment towards them for no reason. Yet they all faced the same loss. The person was as dear to me as to them. And I think it wasn't fair of me to hold that against them. But I know grief has a funny way of clouding your judgment and your view of things and people. Of course, we all can't get over our losses in one go. Everyone has a different timing. Theirs could have been shorter. Mine was 20 years. But all the love they showed me reminded me that no matter what we go through, there are always people who are there for us, who love us, who care for us, who genuinely want to support. And in that point in time, I remember feeling like I finally found a support system. Not these friends or, something like family support system. For 2 decades, I cut out my paternal side. And in that moment, it meant the most to me. So a girl who had gone with a 30 minutes conversation stayed the night, and 7 more days. They took me around the village, introduced me to everyone. Literally, it was like a tour. I remember when I did come back to Kampala, I kept on telling people, do you know the true definition of Olina Malo? That was me for sure when I was in the village. So I had a beautiful tour. We had conversations. They showed me different grandparents, different cousins, like all these people that I had not seen, all these people that I didn't know. And I think it was healing. All I looked for was closure. And that's the closure I did get. So I stayed 7 days later. When I was setting off, it's like as if the entire village gathered their best products, food crops, animals, and gave them to me. I was embarrassed for the little essential things I had carried, the sugar, the salt. It couldn't measure up. I remember saying, this is so much love to experience. And it reminded me the importance of reconnecting with people. Around that time, there was a high school reunion upcoming, and I thought maybe I should keep connecting with people. So while I was there, I gathered my items and called my mother and asked her if she could wait for the things back in Kampala because I still had more trips to make. I called Uncle Jay again and hit for Lira. I had never been to Lira, by the way. Lira is such a beautiful city. It felt like Kampala. Like there's golf. There's golf. The amazing people that I met there, the relatives. Actually, I had a full day tour in Lira. I also stayed in Lira for another 1 week with Uncle Jay. I met people that knew my father, and they reminded me of the power of community, the things that he did for them they seemed to be small, but they were very impactful in their lives. Colleagues that he worked with, I was amazed. I was humbled. I felt like I couldn't measure up. I don't want to be him, but I learned a lesson. I need to always do good and do right by everyone, regardless of who they are. While I was in Lira, I reflected on my time, the period I had spent both in Lira and the village. And I remember telling myself, I am going to reach out more. I'm going to connect more. I need to find happiness amidst my loss. And I don't have to hold anything against anyone or the village, because when people lose people, it's not just me. Everyone that was known by that person equally has also lost. But maybe how we get through this process is different for all of us. I left feeling complete, whole, and happy. Of course, it will never take away the pain, but I know the pain lessens. That was my first step, and I promised them to show up oftenly, anytime and every time. So this one day, I finally come back to Kampala, and meanwhile, the whole time I was there, my mother didn't know that I had traveled. Like, none of my family members on my maternal side actually knew that I had traveled. And when they did learn that I was there, everyone was surprised, shocked, because I had told them I would never, ever, ever, ever set foot there, no matter what. So they thought something had happened. They were wondering what has really prompted me to go. So, yeah, I had a conversation with my mom when I returned. I told her all about my trip, my journey. And a couple of weeks, we were to have like a reunion at my high school. But I think this reunion was also timely. When I trace back, I feel like both my village trip and my high school reunion dinner were the things I needed to completely get over or find closure and heal from my loss of my dad. My high school is a place that was the last place I stayed at that reminded me of him. He chose that school because I had made him proud. I had passed my primary living examinations. So being at that school brought back memories. He taught me how to dance with a boy for the S1 dance party. And that's where I had my first dance with a boy from. I'm in the high school. Like, he taught me many things that brought back memories the day I set foot on that school. I remember crying for 30 minutes non-stop because I was not crying because I was sad. It just brought back beautiful memories, and I appreciated the timing of the reunion. So I was getting cold feet to go for the dinner, but I eventually did. It was the best time of my life. It was the best time of my life in the past 5 years, where I met my old friend, my roommates. Wow. I remember us catching up, reminiscing of the old days. I just loved how much growth had really happened, how we had grown, evolved, turned into these beautiful, responsible adults. Yet, many years ago, because we're celebrating a jubilee. Is it called a jubilee? 25 years, yeah, should be a jubilee. So I was like, wow, what an event. It was a time of my life, really. And I remember posting several things days after the event had even passed. And in all honesty, I think that was the day I healed completely. Do I get sad? Yes, I do. Every time. And it's okay to feel sad because you lose someone that you once knew, you were attached to them. It's okay to be sad sometimes, but must you stay in the sadness? No, you shouldn't. And whenever you get the strength to finally get over the grief, live your life. Be happy. I'm sure even the dead would be happy when you live your life. So why this story? I'm sharing this story because I know there are many people, not just me. There is someone out there. It could be you, and you're struggling. Mine was 20 years. You could be 50. It could be 30. Well, it's been a year. Grief is not a destination for us. We need to get through the process. Don't hurry it if you're not yet ready. Take your time, but don't stay there. I think I stayed there for far too long. But the good thing is, I found closure. I found healing. And I'm happy now. Actually, these days, I'm happy. I empathize with people when they lose their loved ones, because I remember in all those years, if someone told me they lost a parent and they were older, in my mind I would be like, you're even old. I was young when mine passed away. So what are you saying? I was a bit, for lack of a better word, I think I was a bit insensitive. But that was me probably putting all my pain onto, subjecting it to other people, which was not right. So I want to tell you today, you will find closure. You will find healing. Sometimes you need to get out of your comfort space and seek it and heal. Because holding on to that pain and anger only affects you, the person, but not other people, because everyone else in the village had moved on, except me, who was still stuck. And it clouds your perception of people, your view on things. So yeah, it's possible to heal and to reconnect. If you feel this story resonated with you in some way or the other, please let me know in the comment section. Don't hesitate to share it with someone whom you think could benefit from it. And your biggest takeaway should be, you'll heal, you'll find happiness again, and you'll learn to live with loss But above all, live your life. Enjoy it to the fullest. If you liked this video, leave us a comment, subscribe, and we shall see you then. This was the Unfiltered Truths. Until then, bye. I value the time you've put in to watch this video. Thank you so much from my heart of hearts. If this message resonated with you in one way or the other, please subscribe. The purpose of this podcast is to bring hope, restoration, and resilience. Let's share this video with every one of us that we know is going through something and needs comfort.